Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another video. I apologize. I've been a little sick, so I've been uploading as much WoW content, but I wanted to go over the upcoming changes that have been confirmed with add-ons by Blizzard. A lot of people have been very stressed due to the fact that WeakAuras is no longer going to be around. They've even confirmed that the kick has been removed for healers, but that's a whole different situation. So I kind of just wanted to touch on this. So this is an article directly from Blizzard that we have here. I'm actually going in the corner right here. Bam. Now, one thing we know is there was another article recently from Blizzard saying World of Warcraft director admits it's too hard without combat mods and explained how bosses would change at midnight. We're not looking to turn all our raiding counters into a giant puzzle for everyone to solve. Now, a lot of people are frustrated with WeakAuras going away because they rely on it. It tells you mechanics, etc. But they're addressing the customization portion of midnight. So let's just get right into it. So across here, I'm going to try to zoom in as much as possible. Across the World of Warcraft development team, we've been closely following community discussions about the upcoming game changes in the Midnight expansion and their impact on some combat-focused add-ons. As we approach the end of the first month of our Midnight Alpha test, we'd like to reflect on the conversation a bit, clarify aspects of our implementation, and share a preview of some upcoming user interface improvements. So a lot of people were worried that their custom UIs will just be gone forever. So this will hopefully give some sort of clarification. We began our alpha with the most restrictive version of our logic in place, excuse me, ensuring that we were fully addressing add-ons' ability to provide an in-combat competitive advantage. Excuse me. We did so with the expectation that the feedback from players and from add-on developers would help us guide towards the areas where the best serving our community meant loosening some of our API restrictions, adding new base functionality to shore up gaps, and or providing new tools for add-on developers to allow them to build effectively in this new environment. So it seems again they're really going to allow add-ons and allow, modders and people to create these, but you cannot have something to tell you about the encounter, to tell you all these different things, and they're really trying to limit the fact that you need a million add-ons to play the game. So again, this we'll have to see the implementation. They show a couple examples in a moment once we scroll down. I haven't seen these yet, but in theory, this should be good. We'll have to see how the execution goes and how accessible the code is for people to mess around with and create their own add-ons or the customization for these add-ons. But I mean, I'm pretty cool with this. That process has been unfolding over the past few weeks, and we're deeply grateful for all the feedback that has shaped our priorities. These improvements will continue as we move towards beta and testing our endgame content, aided by insights from expanding pool of testers. While we have been sharing detailed technical updates directly with add-on developers, we haven't always given a broader player base a clear sense of what changes expect with Midnight. As a result, we've seen some players alarmed at the prospect of losing add-on functionality that we expect to be entirely preserved in Midnight, so we want to offer a clearer understanding of what is and isn't currently planned to change. Again, a lot of people, and at one point, including myself, thought that all add-ons were completely cooked. That's why when I started playing this game, the first thing I was told was, hey, listen, just so you know, everyone's going to tell you to make download add-ons, but they're getting cooked, they're getting removed. And so I never did. I think I downloaded like 2 or 3, right? So good to see some clarification finally. Development note, add-on and user interface changes are in active development and will continue to see major changes and iteration throughout Midnight beta testing. All information provided here is subject to change, obviously. So the power to customize. The main goal of the changes coming with Midnight is straightforward. Add-ons should not be able to automate combat decisions for the player. Combat is an important distinction here as we have done our best to avoid interfering with access of non-combat information. I'm going to give you a hot take. Now, clearly, I'm very limited in my mythics. I haven't done a raid yet. I've done a couple mythics. I'm cool with this. Straight up. I don't want to have WeakAuras to tell me how to play the game. I want to learn how to play the game, and I want the game to tell me how to play the game. I want to be taught, hey, this is what I should be doing. Which I don't really do a great job of at the moment, to be honest with you. Hopefully that changes. But so seeing that they're really focusing on the non-combat information, the combat distinction, I think is very good. Furthermore, add-ons should retain their ability to customize how information is presented to the player, size, colors, etc. So cool. In Midnight, add-ons will continue to be capable of providing many of the features and customization players have long enjoyed. This includes adjusting the look of almost everything you see in the user interface, such as raid frames, nameplates, action bars, panels, fonts, and art. Add-ons will also be able to present combat information to the player in ways that differ from our base UI. Let's see use the new boss warning UI coming in Midnight as example. So we see like a little line here. It's dropping all these and it's telling you there's like a midpoint right here. 5 seconds, it glows up. Does it make a noise? There's no noise on this particular video. I don't know if it makes a noise when it beeps or something. I know they have some audio cues coming out, but I think this looks cool. I think this is pretty fine. And this new UI presents the player with a timeline view of upcoming boss abilities. Add-ons will be able to take information provided to choose a different way of displaying it, such as stack cooldown of countdown bars. I mean, listen, man, when I see this and it's like, hey, you have to have good communication here. All right, guys, we're going to have a call out. We have 5 seconds away from this big slam. 5 seconds away, you're going to have to jump. 10 seconds away from whatever. It doesn't seem like a lot visually in the sense it's not really overwhelming and it's pretty straightforward. So yeah, I'm a big fan of this one, genuinely. Excuse me. Another example of Midnight add-on functionality, let's look at important cast and nameplates. At Midnight, our base nameplates show the player when an enemy is casting an important spell by making it brighter and playing a flash animation around it. Add-ons will be able to adjust the appearance of that important cast state, such as making the cast bar larger or giving a different animation to suit individual preferences. So there's a simple cast, and here's the important cast from the enemy. Now, I don't know how much you'll be able to really notice this if there's like a million mobs around. So I guess this would be good where modifications come in and add-ons where you can kind of make it purple, make it red, whatever the case may be. But not a bad start. They really are trying to make you have to rely on the information being present by paying attention to the actual combat of the the fight that's going on, as opposed to paying attention to like WeakAuras, right? So again, in theory, I think this is awesome. I'm cool with this. Overall, you can think of it as the way you can think of it this way. If the UI displays a piece of combat information, add-on in most cases be able to present that information to you in a different way. However, add-ons will no longer be able to use that combat information to drive custom logic or make decisions for you. Again, it's not going to tell you what your next step is, but visually presenting it, what you can most likely modify. We're actively working on add-on developers to address any issues they're facing with the new APIs and to give them maximum amount of customization possible while still meeting our goals. Wonder what if WeakAuras is going to reply to this. Continued focus on accessibility. As part of our continued support for text-to-speech, we're working on the addition of a new feature in Midnight to provide combat audio alerts. The system will allow players to turn on TTS alerts for various important combat events. Some examples include the ability to announce when combat begins and ends, to announce their health and resources at regular intervals, to play sounds when you gain or lose a secondary resource, combo points, to announce your target's name and health, and more. I think that's awesome. That's always good. They got their own version of the so good on them for that. I think you could also make it where it'll make a noise if you know a certain ability is ready. There'll also be options to choose voice, speed, and volume settings. These options will appear in the user interface menu escape under accessibility. So healing and raid frames. Over the past few weeks, we've heard clear feedback from healers about limitations in our default raid frames. While add-ons will still be able to significantly customize the look and feel of these frames at Midnight, we are working on improving to help address some of the issues players have been relying on add-ons to solve. We're adding a setting allowing players to choose from 3 different layouts for the information shown in each player frame. The existing layout, name top left, buffs bottom right, debuffs bottom left, dispels top right, will still be default. Dispels right here. But we're adding 2 additional configurations inspired by popular add-on offerings. For dispels, magic, poison, curse, or disease, we're making them bolder on the frame so they're easiest to notice, along with the color and border visualization. So you can see Odette, Jamanta, I don't even know what these names are. These all have that brighter border around it to help healers look and be like, okay, who do I got to target? So that's dope. I think that looks good. We're also adding support to display when a player has a major defensive or similar ability active. We will also make role-specific debuffs like tank swappings larger, so players who are playing that role can know that they can pay special attention to them. Again, add-ons will still be able to reskin raid frames or create totally custom raid frames for those who prefer that. Listen, I can't complain, right? Again, and this is coming from a new player's perspective. The game is overwhelming. Obviously, I can't play 24/7 the way I would like to, right? So I'm trying, but the philosophy of, hey, listen, here's our updated version of the UI, so that way an add-on is not 100% necessary in order for you to go into these raids and mythics to have this extra function. We're going to bake it into the game for you, and then once it's baked into the game, you can then customize it on top of that for your liking. I'm cool with that. I am. I think it looks good. I'm a big fan of it, and we'll have to see how the class changes and everything coexist with that. But honestly, overall, I'm pretty legit with this. The Road to Midnight. All of the forthcoming changes and iterations on these topics will be testable in future builds of Midnight, Alpha, and Beta. We hope this has helped provide clarity. While they will no longer be able to analyze real-time combat information, add-ons will continue to be an important part of World of Warcraft. We're excited to make more improvements and will continue to iterate based on community feedback as we go. Thank you for joining us. Can't wait to see you at midnight. Yeah, I'm cool with that. What are the comments looking like, actually? I'm very curious. Remember back in August, you said that there's going to be a long, slow process. You want to break add-ons until the default Blizzard UI was at par with better. Pepperidge Farms remembers. I don't even use combat add-ons. I can see the train wreck coming. Blizzard going to break things before they have the fix ready. Yeah, I mean, these two are negative. The update looks good. Not that I don't trust Blizzard. We'll get something on par or better than what it's taken away. It's even known. But yeah, I don't trust them at all. Lots of banging pans and shouting, but nothing actually cooking. I'm reading a lot of we don't want non-combat add-ons to broke, yet y'all are breaking them. What all add-ons will be ruined as it stands with this change? I think Blizzard needs to make a list. Will Aluvi be able to pad my action bars to 0? Can it skin them? If no, why not? If yes, why are the authors of the add-on saying probably won't? Well, people seem to have a different perspective than me. Obviously, there's a very good chance that that Blizzard could fuck this up, but I don't know. I'm kind of just waiting to see what happens and going with the punches. I'll see you guys in the next one.